with the wise and magnificent Prince Vincent Cerna. He's already had an ET session with me. He is subscribed at thethunderwizard.com, and he has, I forget the name of it, but it gives you an ET channeling session and access to the live Zoom group class. And so he's a subscriber for that. So he has suggested, I thought very generously, to share his session with the world by allowing it to be recorded. So we are happily doing it. All right, say hello to everybody, Vince.
Hey guys. Hey guys, I'm Vince, Gabo the Shaman on YouTube, and doing another session here with Mahadeva. I have been meditating and all that and taking the information from last time and incorporating it, and this session I'm sure will provide some more insight on things.
Yeah,
So,
that'll be interesting. So
absolutely.
I'm curious to know your experience since the last reading. If you could give us an idea of what has happened. Has the experience expanded for you? What's happened since the last reading?
Yeah, it's actually been pretty interesting, pretty just a really cool experience overall. So I have what I've been doing is consciously going into meditation and allowing the ET light beings to heal me, to change me, to, fix me up, give me like empowerment sessions and things like that. And so, yeah, it's been a really cool experience. I've been even playing around with some mantras, uh, some seed sounds and things like that to maybe even get connected on a try to get connected on a deeper level to my soul lessons, and really connect with the heart center. And yeah, it's been really cool. I've been doing a lot of research as well. Um, what I've been doing is so I looked up since our last session. I looked up did some research on King Surid. I looked up the historical records on that King Surid, and I realized in there it says he has a high priest that he consulted and worked with to achieve things. And as you may know from the last session, I was told I was a high priest, and a high priest of a master of the heart chakra. And so what I found interesting was King Sorid has a high priest that was named Philemon, which I looked up the what that name means, and it's really interesting. Philemon means loving and affectionate. I'm like, how did that happen?
Wow, couldn't have
Uh,
made that up.
yeah, yeah,
What are the odds of that?
yeah. And so, and then I also, last night in meditation, I had this kind of gave me the backstory of what I really felt, and maybe I can wait on this, or we can do it now. I can tell you what happened now. Um, so last night I had a bit of a vision. Um, and the vision was, or the experience was, an older man, an older gentleman, screaming out in pain and frustration, deep like sadness and sorrow, like. And I think this was this priest character. And what he said was, well, he said, he was like, just screaming out, like, in frustration, why didn't this work? And he's like, I think that reason, going back to what the ETs told us, why did I let go? Was I was like, damn you all, screw you all. I'm frustrated with this. And I said, it was like I needed my space almost. I couldn't ascend to their level. I could, like, and the feeling behind that was everyone was like abandoning me, abandoning us. And, you know, light beings were like, okay, pulling the ripcord, I'm out of here. And then I'm like, so I guess my attachment was this, like, why is everyone giving up? Why is, it's like I just felt so like abandoned, and it was really interesting. And it was almost from the perspective that I was experiencing this from, like, a third party perspective. It
Yep.
wasn't like me, it was this guy. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I got the feeling that he was uh angry at the gods, angry at the ET friends, angry at other humans, at humanity, because he felt like he did everything he could have done to save the world, and he felt defeated and abandoned by all the gods, ETs, etc., people in his life and everything, that were supposed to help him preserve things. But he didn't feel like he could trust anyone ever again. Like, it was felt like such a, man, getting emotional even talking about this stuff. It's like a abandonment, and then I think he kind of cut off that connection to the higher dimensions. He was just like, screw screw everything.
Well, very interesting. As soon as you started talking about it, I could feel the light beings chiming in. So
Mm.
that wasn't, you didn't make that up.
Mm.
That that was, at the very least, you getting close to a real memory, if not the actual memory. So just to fill everybody in, I found this out. Again, I've shared my experience very briefly. You can watch it on the channel, where I've talked about light beings have been telling me since I started working with them that I was a powerful king, and that I had done something which had created the foundation for the dark force elites that are now ruling the world. And I didn't know what to do with that. And then finally one day, Pleiadians came to me and told me what it was, that I was king of Atlantis, and that I had been working with them to create the pyramids and other things to help the world stay in a higher dimensional shift, and that they were telling me to stop using the technology because we were shifting down. And I said no. And that actually created a war between other elites who were trying to steal the technology to enslave the earth. And then I was assassinated by them. And then the gods, sent the comets, flood, wiped out Atlantis and all of that. So that's the background. So I knew that, and I couldn't understand why. Why would I do that? Why would any king not listen to higher dimensional beings when they're telling you it's time to turn the technology off? We need to, now you should focus on teaching them spirituality. And then I found uh, I don't know where it came from, but the historical writings about King Surid, who was supposedly the king who created the pyramids, and the reason he did it was because he had a horrific vision of the earth darkening and all human beings being shoved into like this dark cave. He then went to all of his priests, including Philemon, and they also had visions of it, and confirmed to him that that was going to happen, and then there was going to be a flood. And he created the pyramids, among other things, according to this account, to hold all of the knowledge, to save the knowledge. So that understanding helped me understand why, if that were me, why I would have done such a thing. So what I'm hearing you say is that you were working with me, as we talked last time. You were working with me, and we were both trying to save the world. You had the same visions, or you had your own visions. And what I've come to understand is that those visions weren't a catastrophe. The vision was that Earth was coming out of Kali Yuga and was going to descend. And, you know, I was just having a vision of that. And it was so frightening to me, the thought of it, that I couldn't accept it. So I didn't obey the ETs, as we've said. So okay, so I'm feeling them. Let's see, what would you like to say? He needs to understand why he doesn't feel connected. And it has nothing to do with being disenchanted. It has everything to do with why you won't trust. Okay, let's see, what else? And you have to understand that it was his choice to come along with you. That I'm not responsible for the choices that other people made. So apparently I had a lot of guilt about that. That was a lot of emotion came up.
Mm.
And that this is a test, so to speak, of, okay, so it means that our souls in a higher dimension once again volunteered. So none of these things happen by accident. I mean, there wouldn't have made any sense for me to have this vision if it wasn't something that I hadn't chosen to experience before I came in as this king who created the pyramids. And wait, okay, so what are you saying? We want you to understand it's not about guilt or expression of your power. It's about why you chose to do this. Lot of happy emotions. You volunteered for a very difficult job, meaning both of us. You volunteered for this job to stay as the earth and as people went into this dark cave of, you know, shifting down into Kali Yuga. You chose to do that because you knew that people would need your help later. None of this was by accident. This was by design. So the faster you can accept that, the greater your awakening will be, and you'll be able to help more people.
Mm.
So what's happening now in this session And in other sessions, you just CE5 in general, people are doing CE5,
Mhm.
human initiated contact, and they're seeing lights in the sky and having their own personal encounters. It's happening all over the world. It's not just us doing it. And that is the light being shown in the dark cave.
Mm.
So that people are coming out of that dark cave that you and I saw were coming.
Mhm.
So we convinced ourselves that we were choosing to crash. You convinced yourself what you said, letting go, I'm not doing this anymore. What's happening? Why isn't it? That was kind of a game you played with yourself to motivate you on a 3D level to
Mm.
dis. So
Wow.
what that infers is that you were shifting up. So you actually had to put effort into thinking negatively so that you wouldn't.
Mm.
So it's interesting what you said about how when you saw this, it wasn't a memory. It's like you were watching a movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the two times that ETs have come and told me, okay, we're going to show you your past, it's been like that.
Mm.
And it's been like me watching a movie and I'm seeing, I don't see a lot of details, but my brain puts it together. I see me um, doing things. And one of them was, there was two. There's somebody I'm gonna do a reading with. I've come to find out that person was also involved, and I got very angry with that person, and I have to clean up my karma with that person. So
Mm.
people will see that when we do the. I assume, I imagine that's what's going to happen. But then there was another time where I was asking, how did this happen? I don't remember what I was asking. And they said, okay, we're going to show you. And they do this. They said, we're going to show you, but you're not going to like it. I said, okay, I want to know. And I saw myself saying the same kinds of things you were like, why have you done this to me? I can't believe you've done this to me. And that was when all of the light being protection had gone, the ETs were gone, the Lemurians had shifted up. So they were my family.
Mm.
Very, I have like family members, like cousins and uncles, and they were part of the ruling elite, and we were family, and they left, and I was supposed to go with them, and I didn't. And so after all that happened, there was this point where I was uh, just beside myself with rage and pain and anger and screaming, "Why have you done this to me? Why have you allowed this to happen?" And it was the way you described it. I was watching it. I didn't remember it. I was like watching a movie of that was me. My experience is then later the feelings will show up. So maybe the feelings will show up for you later, but
Mm.
it's okay with me if they don't. They don't need to. All right. Well, what else? I feel like I got off track here. I want you to know why you're so isolated in this life. We needed you to live like monks so that you wouldn't be distracted from your spiritual practices. That's going to turn around as we continue to go into the awakening. More and more people are going to seek you all, me and you. They're going to seek you out for guidance and instruction. Lots of energy there.
Mm.
Very happy. They're very happy about that. You guys have no idea what's coming for you. We're going to protect you and keep you safe in the turbulence that's coming. So don't worry about any of that. We've got you covered. We're going to make sure that you see the light as it approaches. I don't know what that means. You'll understand when the time comes. We've got so much more to tell you, but you're not ready. When we come to Earth, you will be our first contacts.
Mm.
We're coming soon. A lot of energy there. So
Mm.
I'm just now getting the revelation that there is going to be open contact. Like
Wow.
it's not just going to be what we're experiencing now, which is we're having telepathic connections with non-physical light beings.
Mm.
There's going to be, it's like massive. And they're reminding me we're actual beings, we exist. Because it's so easy, I don't know for you, but for me, it becomes really easy just to see them as spirits.
Mm.
You know, like shamans have throughout history, they're connected to the spirits.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's pretty much what I've been, is this shaman connected to the spirits. And they're saying we're not just spirits, we're people. They also have to uh, they also have to rescue their comrades who have been taken captive by the uh, the Dark Force military.
Mm.
We can't tolerate being away from them much longer.
Mm.
We've been very patient, and but it's getting to the point where we have to do something about them.
Mm.
Know that you don't completely understand, but we understand you. You'll know what to do when the time comes. All right, so that's, I don't know what you're feeling, but the energy on my end is just enormous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
You have any thoughts or any questions?
Um,
I mean, we're still going. I'm just taking a little bit of a break here
okay.
and all that. But I'm happy to see if they have anything they want to communicate with you about.
Yeah. Um, no, I'm just kind of shocked at like this session seems so much different than the last one. The last one they were kind of approaching it, from a far off, distant kind of, hey, this is kind of what you need to do. This is where you need to go. Or, kind of giving me clues and context to like I think one of the things they said was, we know that you'll put the dots together, you'll figure it out. And now it's like, whoa. Yeah, it's like showing up in a different way. Not that that's not, I appreciate it. I love it. You know, um, so I guess my question for them would be, is there anything that we can do to help?
Okay, let's see. Is there anything that we can do to help you? We don't need you to do any more than you're already doing. First step of the process is to expand and awaken. We know where things are going next. You don't.
Mm.
So we're here to help you right now. And the idea is that we sort of have to, be humble to receive their help. The feeling I get is, again, they see us from a different perspective. They see us as these huge deities that they kind of work with. And, we're now in this position where we're dependent upon them. So they're laughing a little bit. Why would you like to see us so high? They say. It's a question for both of us. We don't need you to see us that way. What you're responding to is the power of the spirit. So we're conflating. So in other words, we see them. This is why, like, our ancestors saw them as angels and demigods, because they're higher dimensional. Just the energy feels like God is coming to Earth whenever we experience it. So,
yeah.
So part of the awakening is to make a separate understanding that the energy is God and they are people who happen to be in closer connection to, the more concentrated form of spirit or energy. They're closer to God. Why don't you want to have fun? Again, I don't know who they're talking to. They could be talking to both of us. So they're trying to lighten the situation. Like you said, a bunch of heavy stuff just came through. So they're trying to lighten the situation. And I just need to explain, I guess, to people is that lightening the situation isn't how humans do that. Humans do that because they're uncomfortable. And they need to, like, we need to make things not so intense or uncomfortable. And what they're saying is that the challenge for us right now is learning how to focus on what is possible, not get caught up in the minutia. So, for instance, in my life, just right now, I was telling you that I just had I'm having a falling out with my current landlord, and I've come to find out that he's, something ain't right upstairs. And it actually works out in my favor because it actually frees me up and I'm okay. I'm kind of back in what I originally wanted. I was trying to get something else and that's not going to happen. And so the truth is I end up benefiting the most out of what happened. And if I look at it that way, I'll go, phew, yeah, that now I'm out from underneath and things are, I just don't have the security of what I thought was a long-term situation. So I've been very upset about it, but I realize that I'm angry over nothing. It's just my pride and my fear. The actual real scenario in front of me is I'm better off than I was. And I could choose to look at that and go, you know what? Who cares? Yeah, the guy was manipulative and abusive, and so what? It doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that as an example that I'm getting a lot of energy here. The two of us, as well as humans in general, this is what we can do. So this is, long story short, learning how not to be attached to the third dimension, which is always dramatic, which is always intense, which is filled with fear and selfishness and all of that. So that's one of the things that happens when they laugh, is, they laugh a lot. People ask questions and I go, they're laughing. They're laughing not at us, they're laughing with us.
Right.
They can see that we're attached and how silly that is. So we can choose to see that as being silly also. And also the power that comes from that. That when we shift our thinking towards that, again, not going into denial, not not trying to justify something, but just choosing to focus on creating and being someplace positive, that that's what's going to help bring this shift. That's nothing new. A lot of people say that. That's um, trying to put everything into words what I'm seeing and feeling from this. Okay, what else? Anything else? We don't know why you're so sensitive to other people's challenges. So we can start to be like they are, where people have their challenges and their issues, and we don't need to respond. We
Mm.
don't need to get angry. We don't need to fix it. We don't need to change it. You can just observe it and go, oh, that's their that's their experiment.
Mm.
Okay, so let's see. What else? What else, Vince?
Um, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I just kind of came here with with those updates, and I was, I'm open. I want to hear what they have to say. And one thing that I'm interested in is like what uh what kind of tools or spiritual tools do they think that like I would benefit from? Like I've been wanting to use mantras and things like that to open up the heart center and connect, and um yeah, I was just wondering their perspective on that. If they could maybe teach me a mantra or a seed sound.
Okay, so uh, couple things. When you saw me looking over to the side, it was because I was getting a picture in my mind of a being, a feminine being. Oh, there she is. Hello. Wow. Really powerful, beautiful, feminine being, very regal, like a queen mother. And I'm seeing like a lot of like what looks like diamonds and silver. Uh, Very similar, again, I'm not getting a clear picture, but it kind of reminds me of some of the pictures of, like the blue Arcturian type. I don't know what color she is. I'm not seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I get the sense that she's one of your guides.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's more connected to you than she is to me, but she says she's one of my guides as well. We we just want you to know, both of you, how loved and special you are, and how precious it is that you're remembering who you were together. It brings us so much joy to see the family come together again, cheering and clapping.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer to your question, you were asking about mantras, and there was like this joy that came over and a smile that came over. She said he should play with whatever toys he wants, whatever makes him happy. He should just have as much fun as he wants, experiment, reawaken to his his priestly powers. So I didn't get a specific, here's the mantra you should do. It's just more like, here's just a box full of toys. Just go back into being that priest that you are.
Mm.
On my channel, you've been taking the stuff that I'm doing and you're doing some of your own. You're reproducing it, but doing it in your own way. You're doing your own meditations, your own teachings, and not everybody does that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, this is obviously who you are.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
obviously that priest.
Mm. Yeah.
Guide, guide to many people. So they want you to remember, or at least be aware of that in your lifetimes, you have blessed and healed, and guided and awakened hundreds of thousands of people
Mm.
on planet Earth. It saddens us to know that you have let go of some of that awareness within you of who you are.
Mm.
It, it made them very sad when they watched you let go and descend. You've spent a few lifetimes basically beating yourself up. You've done some of that in this life. And so that has been sad for them to watch. And
Mm.
there's no judgment. They're not saying you shouldn't have done that. They're not doing that. They're just, that's what we saw. And it was sad to watch that
I understand.
because you're so powerful and beautiful. And we're looking forward to watching you continue to expand your light, to shine again, to awaken. This time, your light is going to expand and become stronger and more concentrated than it was before because of the things that they say they were sad to watch. That added pressure
Mm.
created an even stronger, will create an even stronger end result with your continued expansion and awakening. Okay, we have a lot more to say, but we don't want to overburden you. Do you have any questions? So in other words, they're like, they want to keep talking, but they can see that it's that the energy on my end, my instrument can only handle so much. So
Mm.
so they're backing off a little bit.
Mm.
Do you have any other questions, thoughts for them?
Um, yeah, you know, um, I like that, when she said, let him kind of play with his box of toys. That was funny. Um, and, I like to do that. I like to experiment and stuff, and, um, it is kind of like that. um, and, yeah, it's, whew, um, you know, I I was wondering about, let me think about, about, well, I guess, I kind of talked about this last time, but is there a way, I mean, I guess there's no real substitution other than experience for kind of gaining and reclaiming my power. And, my thought is like, okay, I gotta give it some time and not be impatient.
Okay, so she went, ooh, now we're getting into some good questions. Ooh, so she's uh so ask that question again.
Yeah, so
It's for my benefit.
how can I regain my power?
Yeah. So the point of that is a worthwhile question to focus on.
Mm,
For you to be focused on how can I regain my power? How can I regain my power?
mm,
Meditate. How can I regain my power? So that's the feeling I got, is that that's what's most important here.
mm,
It's that you want to regain it. And so by asking that question and focusing on it, you'll start to learn how to navigate through your own self limitations. And that, so let's see, is there anything specific you'd like to tell him? No, 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 no. No, we want him to want to figure it out. And you too, Mahadeva, because I've been trying to figure out how to physically shift to 5D.
mm,
So we want you guys to want to try and figure that out.
mm,
The act of doing that is oh wow, this is interesting. So the act of asking questions like that, how can I evolve? How can I awaken? How can I shift? When anybody starts asking that question, the what I'm seeing is like the fabric of reality starts going like this.
mm,
So when you start asking that question, basically that fans out and all the rest of the humans start going. So they're trying to tell me
mm,
that just that thinking is incredibly powerful.
mm,
It's more powerful than the techniques. So pretty much many techniques will do the job. And we're given multiple techniques so that we don't get bored.
mm. Yeah.
Some are very specific, and have to be done for some people in a specific way. But,
Mhm.
should I do this mantra or that mantra? The answer is yes, either one. Just do it.
Yeah.
They're clapping. They like that. Yeah, and then they're playing with me a little bit. And you're so smart. We like listening to you talk.
They're not alone in that.
Yeah, so they're very happy with this. What's happening? All right. Anything else? What else?
um, hmm. Um, they said something about this is why we want you guys to live like monks and and to in order to focus on your spiritual practices and spiritual growth. And I was wondering, uh, when when is the fun gonna come? Or
Okay, so
like,
I need to correct you a little bit. So they weren't saying that they want us to now going forward.
mhm.
What they were saying was we wanted that for you
Oh,
then.
oh, okay.
Throughout there's been numerous times throughout different lives and in this life,
Mm,
and a lot of that is directed at me,
mm,
because since for the past 5 or 6 years, I've basically been living like a monk.
mm,
So, but part of that was directed at you as well. But the feeling was, okay, now that that's done, we can move past that.
Mm.
Now we can start opening it up and, like you said, having fun. So I just want to correct that they weren't saying that they were wanting that for us going or for you going forward.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know. Would they like to tell me anything? Anything more?
Well, they were just saying that yeah, he should know. Yeah, he's got fun times are coming. It's coming. So they wanted you to know that yeah, things are definitely going to change.
Mm.
Okay, and your question is there anything else? There's so much we want to tell you, guys. There's so much we want to tell you guys, but we know what you can handle. And now they're talking to me. They might be talking to you as well, but they're talking to me. We know that you're kind of handling as much as you can, and we're pretty uh, we're pretty amazed at your flexibility with all of this. This isn't something a lot of people would want to do or be able to do, to live in multiple worlds. So we're just so excited. We want you with us, talking about both of us. We want you with us. We get a little bit selfish, and it's easy for us to forget how challenging it can be down there on 3D Earth. Give me a second. They're talking amongst themselves. So they're trying to see if there's anything else that we should know. So if you have anything you want us to do for you, please tell us.
Mm.
We want to be as helpful to you as we can. We're with you.
Mm.
May not see us or feel us, but we are with you. We've been with you through the whole thing, meaning for 13,000 years. We've been right there with you the whole time.
Mm.
We're not going to let you go. You can always reach out to us and ask us for help. We don't know where we'd be without you, they say.
Mm.
You have no idea what your service on this planet does for us. You are the heroes. We are benefiting from all of the hard work that you're doing. It's a very selfless act to choose to be human. And even though you see yourself in your failings, we never see that. We see you experimenting with consciousness in ways that we can't even understand. And you'll never know how valued you are and how grateful we are because of you.
Mm.
Meaning everybody. We're talking about all humans. We wish we could take away the burdens and the pain, but but what? But you'll never grow if we did that.
Mm.
So it takes a lot of restraint on their part to hold back.
Mm.
Anything else that it's like they're kind of wrapping things up on their end.
Mm. Yeah. Um, I mean, what would, so, for this lifetime, I've always wanted to go do things like go to, Florida, Australia, live in a tropical paradise, all those things. And I would like them to assist me with that if they can.
Okay, let's see. Do you have anything you want to say? We know where he's going soon. He's gonna like it. Both of you guys are gonna like where you're gonna go.
Mm.
Can't talk about it right now.
Mm.
Some big changes are coming, I guess, coming forward.
Mm.
Let's see. What else would you like to say to Vince? Don't worry, Vince. It will all come together and make sense. Right now, your expansion and awakening is a very good place to start. Keep focusing on exactly what you want. Keep imagining it and ask yourself why you may have manifested blocks to that.
Mm.
You can figure it out. We'll help you with that. Okay, so what I heard you say, it sounded like, why don't they come and take me somewhere? Almost, right? That's how it felt when I heard it. I don't know what you meant, and I understand. I've asked that same question. Hey, just give me a spaceship. Can I just get a spaceship? I don't want to get on a plane. Just let me, just take me to Australia. I want my own spaceship. So what they were saying was they really wanted to help you figure out what you can do to manifest it, to work through that. So
Mm.
again, so they're not deferring to me, so I'm going to speak my thoughts about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we'll have to end our session, unfortunately.
Okay.
One of the things that you have adopted throughout the lifetimes is the feeling of being powerless. And so the feeling I get is that that's something you chose to tell yourself, which helped you stay down here. So now it's time to let go of that. So that means you can choose to have complete healing. You can choose to have complete mobility. You can choose to have complete financial freedom. You can choose that. And that will entail you working through and reversing, lifetimes of self-imposed feelings and limitations and things like that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And they're really excited to help you with that, as am I. I would love, anyway, anything I can do to help you with that, I will.
Okay.
But the end is you can have it. It's just the question of how do you bring it about? And to believe that you can do that. Okay. I wish we could keep this going, but unfortunately, I've got to go. So,
Okay.
thank you so much, Vince.
Yeah, thank you.
Man, Huge. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for that. I owe you a lot for allowing me to. I gained a lot from this as well.
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely.
so that's it, my friend. See you next time.
Alrighty. Love you, man. Take care. We'll see you. See you next time.
Hang on,
Recording stopped.
there we go. Okay, brother. See
Alrighty.
ya.
Take care. See ya.
Bye.
Take care.